So, three dreams I've had since the tsunami angel dream. Oh wow, free mayonnaise. Cool. You think it's safe? Yeah, probably not. So in this first dream, I dreamed of three girls. And, ooh, feral cat over there. Sorry. I dreamed of three girls and they were three different races. One was Asian, one was black, one was white. I'm not sure the significance of that. Maybe it's something to do with unity. You know, where it says in Revelation that John saw people of every tribe and tongue and kindred and clan, and we're all one nation in Christ. I'm not sure. So there were these three girls, and these dreams, it's like I'm watching a television show. It's like there's a camera, and the camera zooms in and zooms out, and you can see different things. So the camera zooms out, and I realized that it's taking place inside of a large city. Looked like New York City. I was there for a week, maybe Chicago. I've been there before, but just I couldn't tell which city it was. It was a very large, urban, concrete jungle, big city. So these girls, they were street musicians, and they would go out on the street corners and sing songs that they wrote. And there was this one song in particular they would sing every day. And the people, they just ignored the girls. They'd just walk right on by and paid them no mind. Didn't listen to their song, and this kind of broke their heart. Like they were very sad or very downcast that nobody would listen to the song they would sing. And I couldn't make out the words. I couldn't make out what they were singing. And I knew that somehow one of the girls, their mother was in the hospital. Their mother was sick. I don't know what the significance of that was. So then the camera zooms and goes across town in this large city, and I see this old man, and he's in a cafe, and there's fans spinning, and he's got a dust broom, and he's sweeping the floor. And while he was sweeping the floor, I just knew that he was like really, really sad, because like he had worked all his life for that, that cafe or that restaurant, and for some reason, he didn't have any customers, so he was going out of business, and he was really sad, kind of depressed. This restaurant was something he had worked for his whole life, and he was losing it. So he was really down about that. And you can see the expression on his face, his countenance. It's just sorry, the people walking by us. So somehow he heard these girls, like they would sing on different street corners, and so these three girls ended up singing on his street corner. And he heard their song, and he smiled, and he was happy about their song. And he went out and he told the girls, he said, if you want to, you can come and you can play in my cafe. And this made the girls happy. So they came and they set up in his cafe, and one girl played the violin, and one girl played the acoustic guitar, and then the other girl she played the drum. She had a very simple drum set. It was just like a kick and a snare and one cymbal that she would play. But they set up in the cafe, and they began to play. And when they did, people began to come into the cafe. And people began to fill the cafe. People actually began to listen to their song. And this made the old man really happy, and it made the girls happy. And I was sitting at a table in the cafe, and it made me happy. And this is the part of the dream where I finally could understand what they were singing. Before it was just, I couldn't make out the words, but I could only make out the chorus, and they kept singing and repeating over and over. This was the chorus. There was only three chords, and it said, "You gotta know, you 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 gotta know." So they were singing about something that we all had to know, right? And here's the weird thing: there were three girls in the dream, right? Well, guess what time I woke up? I woke up, shut out of bed. I grabbed my smartphone, looked at the clock, and it said 3:33. Three girls. 3:33 when I woke up. Interesting. That was the first dream. So the second dream. I woke up in my house, and I looked out the window, and I was in this ginormous hurricane. I've been through some rough hurricanes in Florida. We get them every year. It's just fact of life here. You get used to them. You learn how to prepare for them and hopefully ride them out. Worst one I went through was a Category 4. Never been through a Category 5. But this storm, man, if there were such a thing, it would have been like a Category 10. mean, the winds were unreal. I've never seen winds that strong. I mean, 10 times stronger than anything I've ever seen with my natural eyes. The winds were so strong, they were ripping the doors off of cars like a can opener would open an aluminum can. Just shearing the doors off of things, and picking up cars and tossing them around, and trucks, and pieces of trains and buildings. I mean, wooden buildings were reduced to splinters, and concrete buildings were reduced to just rubble and dust. And the weird thing is, the whole dream was in black and white. Okay, nothing was in color. It was in black and white, except for when I looked out my front window. This compact car, it looked like a VW Bug. It was the only thing in color in the entire dream, and it was bright red. And the wind had blown it up into the top of a tree that's in the front of my yard. So everything else is in black and white. These supernaturally strong winds are raging everywhere. And I look, and here's this, in the midst of this totally black and white dream, there's this bright red compact car. It looked like a Volkswagen Bug or something. Just bright cherry red. Okay, maybe not even cherry red, more like stop sign kind of red. Just bright, very red. I don't know what the significance of that. Why was the whole dream in black and white except for that one car was in red? And I don't know if the storm winds are symbolic of things that will happen after the rapture. Maybe the weather systems go crazy when the bolts of wrath are poured out, or maybe it was something to do with spiritual warfare. Maybe it was sort of a holy hurricane of angels, marching against the enemy's forces. I don't know. But that was the second dream. Sharp. Okay, so the third dream, and this is probably the weirdest of all of them. I saw what looked like a giant building, like a giant stone rectangle. And when I mean giant, I don't mean the size of a building. I mean the size of a city. Like, this thing was bigger than New York City. There were millions of people inside of it. But it was a giant stone rectangle. It wasn't very pretty on the outside. And the camera kind of zooms out in the dream, and I see the earth behind us, and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're just whizzing through space, planets going past us, and then in the dream the camera zooms out, and I see 3 letters inscribed on this giant flying stone rectangle, and it's ARK, ARK. And so I hope that means we're going home soon.